Everybody. This is the season of Lent that has begun. We are embarking upon this beautiful time of year. For those that are of the Christian persuasion, if you call yourself that, or a Christ follower, um, I don't, sometimes the Christian label, because of what it has become, is a little strange and awkward to me at this point. Um, I think it's better to be a follower of the teachings of the Christ, because people call themselves Christian and named simply because of what they believe. And I believe that truly a spiritual path is more than what you believe. It's who you become, it's who you are, it's a state of being in terms of your spiritual practice and your lifelong journey to transformation into Christ's nature, or the nature of a divine being here on the planet Earth, wrapped in human flesh, having a human experience, but yeah, divine in your nature as you evolve through this journey, which is an exciting journey. It's nothing that's full of drudgery or, as I say, something that's a burden. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we're in the season of Lent, and that is what we're going to be discussing today. Continued prayers for the Jackson family of Jesse Jackson. I did note that they were going around yesterday. I watch independent podcasters and newscasters, not traditional news, and they were making their rounds, and they seemed to be in a state of peace and joy. I'm sure that they cried. I'm sure that it will hit them and that they wept, but they had a lot of time also to prepare for it. It wasn't sudden in terms of his decline. So we're continuing to pray for their peace, and that they continue to sojourn and go forward with the work that their father began more than 6 decades ago. So, we're keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. But again, it's a wonderful Wednesday. We're moving forward. We literally have 10 more days to do this. We've gotten through the bulk of it, and we were in it for the long haul. So I'm still glad and grateful to be here, enthusiastic about the day. And we will journey into our reading for Lent and what that means. For me, in Catholic school, it was the Lent season that was, emphasized strongly, and also in Lutheran school when I went. So parochial school really taught us about the Lent season, and it was a sacred time. In Catholic school, it was a sacred time to really, really think about and prepare your heart for what had taken place in terms of the death, burial, and then resurrection of the Christ. So, what we think about in terms of Lent is what that means to us, to each of us. Hello, 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 greetings and grand rising. What does Lent mean to each and every one of us? What does it represent? Somebody keeps asking me that question, and we will get into that later. I'm not doing that just yet, but I will address that, and I have addressed that before. But it is a Lenten season. How can I resurrect? How can I renew? How can I be regenerated within? What wants to be born in me and rebirthed? As we look at Lent, we look at Advent as well. Advent is as we prepare for the birthing of the Christ child. It is the same thing. It is a period of renewal and reflection and introspection as to what new things want to blossom on the inside of us, what new things want to spring up on the inside of us. This is the spring season. This is what we're in right now, and different things want to be born in us and created. So how are you creating new things for yourself? Are your creative juices flowing? Are you growing in your creativity? What wants to be birthed out of you? Those are some of the things that we can think about during this season. So as we prepare, some people go and get their ashes for Ash Wednesday, things of that nature in the Catholic and the Episcopalian churches. I think some Presbyterian churches and Lutheran churches do it as well. Other more Protestant churches, and those are Protestant churches, but like more the regular churches like the Baptists, the Pentecostals don't necessarily do Ash Wednesday, but other denominations do it. And it's a time to think about that. You anoint your head. It's a time of penance, reflection, and inner work. So take this opportunity, go within, And think about those ways. What's being created? What's being birthed? What's being renewed? What's being regenerated inside of you? Okay, so we're going to do our reading as we light our sacred serenity candle. You know how we do every single time. And I'm considering what new things want to spring up in my own life as well, in my own journey. I have to take the time to really contemplate that. I know that there are some new things that are being birthed, even in doing this 28 days of prayer in the morning. I know that something is being born in me as well. And we'll venture into that now in terms of what that looks like for each of us. Wednesday, February the 18th, 2026, Lent. I welcome Lent as a season of spiritual renewal. Today marks the start of Lent, a spiritually potent time of discovery. Just as my home may become cluttered with things that I no longer need or want, my consciousness may become cluttered with beliefs that no longer serve me, or thoughts and feelings of lack or limitation. I welcome the season of Lent as an opportunity to refresh and renew my spiritual life. With compassion and discernment, I identify what to release. Through prayer and meditation, I fast from negative or destructive thinking and feast on beliefs and ideas that affirm the oneness of all people. I look forward each day to my times of reflection and spiritual practice. Letting go of the past and looking forward to my renewal, I begin my Lenten journey. Therefore, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, as found in Romans 12:2. And hello once again to everybody. But we need to reflect, perhaps. I invite you to think about the ways that you can let go of the past and look forward to renewal as you begin this Lenten journey. Have you identified what you need to release and what you need to let go of? Have you thought about fasting from negative or destructive thinking that no longer serves you, releasing things, decluttering the mind of certain beliefs and limitations and lack and things that hold you back? You know how we go around in circles many times and we think that we're progressing and we think that we're progressing, and then we keep using the same methods and expecting a different result, which they say is the source of insanity. So therefore, we want to think about the new ways that we can approach a thing in our lives, whatever that may be, whatever that may look like to you. It looks like something different for each of us. But what does it look like to release, to renew, and to begin again? Because it takes courage sometimes to begin again and start all over again, especially when we're venturing out into new territory. It's exciting, but it can be scary sometimes. So let's take this journey of renewal together. I invite you to take this moment to center yourself and anchor yourself in the spirit of peace, knowing that all is well. As we focus on the breath and turn deep within, deep within. It's a beautiful day to be alive and well. Thankful for the peace and the serenity of this very moment that we're in. It's a spectacular day to observe and turn within and reflect. In gratitude and thanksgiving, I'm so very happy to be amongst those that are on this journey of renewal, reflection, regeneration, and peace. How good it is to know that we're one with the essence of life, the source of life, the creator of all creation, one with this infinite intelligence, one with the power that has no equals and has no rivals. So very grateful to be intertwined with the source of all living things in the universe. For that is a powerful revelation. I'm so very thankful for the energy of renewal, for the spirit of renewal and regeneration and rebirthing. As we reflect on the journey of the Christ, we think about Jesus, the man, who actually went to the cross to perform his assignment, which he had prepped for so long. So very grateful that we're going forth in our assignment that may take us on a journey of a death, where certain things have to die off, where old attitudes, old belief systems, old ways of thinking, old ways of doing have to die off and drop off of our lives because they no longer work. And we're okay with that. We're okay with admitting to ourselves that certain things are no longer working. And so we sit in this moment of reflection, which is a gift to us, an opportunity to reevaluate everything inwardly and say, well, what is next? What is the next step? Asking the universe, show us and give us the downloads and the instructions and the spiritual map that shows us which direction to go into next on this journey of renewal and regeneration and rebirthing. And we know that as we go through our burial experience, after the death, after the things have fallen off, after old things have passed away, and we know that old things then become new. And we rise to the occasion. We rise in joy. We rise up and we're being raised up, and our consciousness is being elevated to the next level as we go from glory to glory to glory to glory to glory, from level to level to level. There is a renewal of the mind. There is a resurrection and a change. There is a lifting of the spirits, and we are reborn again. And so in this moment, we rejoice in advance for the renewal and for the rebirthing and for the regeneration as we are born again. There was a question that was asked in the scripture, and a conversation between Nicodemus and Jesus the Christ. And the answer and the resolution and the solution was provided. You must be born again. Can we go back through our mother's womb once again? No, that's one birth. That's a birth in the natural realm. Oh, but there is a rebirthing and a regeneration in the spiritual realm that takes place. And we are born again, and we have an opportunity to do this day after day after day, as long as we have life and breath in our body. And because we are infinite, eternal light beings, infiltrated with the light of God, we can be born again and again and again. And there is a rebirthing and a regeneration and a renewal of our minds. We're not conformed to this world, no, nor the things of it, but we are transformed daily by the renewing of our mind. All we have to do is say yes, and it's done. Yes to the journey, yes to the assignment, and yes to the task, which is a joy. In gratitude and thanksgiving, we confidently and lovingly release the word that has been spoken today into the living law of life, resting in it assuredly and allowing it to be. And so it is. Amen. In Ashe. There was a question that was posed to me. Have you used the astral projection before? That has been asked in a previous conversation by someone else as well. In terms of astral projection, I am not one that goes around and says, oh yes, I astral projected and my body went out of itself and I went up into the clouds and saw many different things. No, I don't set out to astral project, to be honest with you. Although someone did ask that question in the last video about a week ago, and from my studies of it, I think each of us astral project. Hey, Hunia. Hi. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste to you. I think each of us astral project at one point in time or another. We all do it without even realizing it. I know there's some people that purposely and intentionally do it. I've never purposely and intentionally had to do that because I get downloads and revelations. So I don't have to intrude or infringe and take myself someplace and say, well, my body astral projected and I was in a state, or I went to Paris in my body, or I went into somebody's house and I was able to see what was going on because I astral projected there. No, I get a prophetic download, if you will, or if you want to call it, the new age people call it a psychic experience where they can see, or clairvoyant. I get it that way. And I have jumped across quantum timelines and was able to quantum leap across timelines that way, if you will, if you want it from a metaphysical perspective. But yes, I've gotten downloads. I've been able to see things. I've been doing it since I was a child. Even when you go into a daydream state. Now, somebody might disagree with me. It's not that spooky. It's not spooky where I'm levitated outside of my body and I don't do spooky. I don't do spooky and I'm levitating and having a mystical Swami experience. I don't do things like that. I simply can go into trance, as I had studied some metaphysical books that had stated what that is. And when you're daydreaming, that is a form of trance. So when you're sitting there and you zone out, and I've been doing it since I was a child, and you've been doing it since you were a kid, and your teacher used to say, you're daydreaming, wake up. Miss Daly, my first grade teacher, Lori, you're daydreaming, you're daydreaming. I would go places. Thank you, darling. I would go places, and I would be able to see things. I would explore, and they will try to shut that down and tell you to stop daydreaming. Don't stop daydreaming. Because that is a form of meditation, actually. And meditation can take you into places and spaces where you will get downloads from the Holy Spirit, and you will see things. You will fall, as they say, into a trance. And trance doesn't have to be spooky. It just means that you're in such a relaxed state of being that you're able to be receptive to what the Spirit wants you to do. So that is a form of meditation as well, just as astral projection. I astral projected out of my body. If you do that, that's fine. I don't judge it. It's what you want to do. But there are ways to do that that don't have to sound swami to the average listener who maybe doesn't practice that. Yeah, don't stop dreaming. Don't stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. So you continue and you're sitting there and you go into trance and you just take yourself there and you're there. And you can go there for 5 to 10, sometimes 20 minutes. And you're just there if you still yourself. And then it becomes this. And then you're in a meditation, and then you can go that way. And you wake up and you say, well, how did I receive that information? And when it's confirmed, when the information is confirmed and you get a confirmation that it was actually true, what you were seeing was true, and you speak it to somebody and they say, how did you know that? How did you know that? You weren't infringing upon their privacy. You just got a download, but it's going to be something that's not going to embarrass them. It's going to be something that's going to edify them and lift them up when you do share what you've seen, or even if it's for you. Sometimes it's something about you. Sometimes it could be a download about your future. It can be a warning. It can be showing you something to avoid, something that would prevent you from experiencing calamity. So it's all a blessing. So that is my take on what astral projection is. Some people in Christian circles see it as demonic. That's because they believe in things that they don't understand. And when you don't study something intently, and everything that's not what I know, anything that's different from what I've learned, anything that's different is demonic. So, and we don't acknowledge the presence of anything that is adversarial to our God and divine nature. Okay? We don't give it any power over here. Okay? Can't rock over here. Only goodness, only light, only love, only power, only strength, only empowerment, only new life, only regeneration, only rebirthing. All right? So I hope that answers the question for everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be back once again tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, we will be doing this the last day of this. Yes, God is the only power, right? God does not contending with any other forces. You know, man needs that in order to have an excuse almost as to why we carry on and do the things that we do instead of taking ownership and accountability. You need an adversary. to blame for what's going on in the world, when we need to take accountability and take on the spiritual practice that will bring us into divine transformation, rebirthing, and renewal and regeneration to be changed from the inside out. Everybody have a fabulous day. Take care. Thank you, Hunia, for joining me. Bless you always. And I will see you tomorrow, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye.